2024 as 9.2%. It may have come down. Now, earlier there was a production-linked incentive. When you introduce the employment-linked incentive, it must be for some reason. And I suspect the reason was that the production-linked incentive scheme did not create the kind of jobs that you wanted to create. So will the Honorable Finance Minister tell this House what is the outcome of the PLI? Once we know the outcome of the PLI, we can look ahead to what can be expected of the ELI. In fact, from paragraphs 20, 21 and 22, read with paragraph 51 of her speech, neither I nor any of my learned colleagues are able to get a whole picture of the ELI. It seems to us that paragraph 20 talks about the same target industries like paragraph 21, and paragraph 21 talks about the same target industries as paragraph 22. But in paragraph 51, we were suddenly let down when you said only 500 industries are selected. The numbers don't gel, the numbers don't match. Anyway, you have a ELI. It's an interesting idea, but it does not inspire confidence. And let me go on record to say it does not inspire confidence that you will be able to place 290 lakh people under the ELI that you have described. It should not turn out to be another election jumla like your 2 crore jobs. Now look at the magnitude of the unemployment problem. Uttar Pradesh Police Department conducted an examination for 60,244 vacancies. 48 lakh persons applied and wrote that examination. It was cancelled a couple of days later. Air India wanted to fill 2,216 vacancies of handymen to do diverse jobs like repair and maintenance. 25,000 people thronged Mumbai airport for a walk-in interview, and the police had been called to restore law and order. A private company in Gujarat sought to fill 5 positions. 1,000 persons barged into that company. Madhya Pradesh advertised 15 low-skilled government jobs. 11,000 applications were received. Among them were postgraduates, engineers, MBAs, and I'm sad to say, even one of them who had just written an examination to be a judge in the Madhya Pradesh High Court. The best illustration is by the Staff Selection Commission. There are staff selection commissions at the center and the states. Uttar Pradesh conducted an examination for 7,500 posts. 24,74,030 people applied for those jobs. And yet, the RBI, about 2-3 weeks ago, said, there is no jobs crisis in India. Exact words, no jobs crisis in India. Why didn't anyone from the minister or any officer stand up and say, we reject this statement. RBI is supposed to be cautious, conservative, and neutral. But you're cautious, you're conservative, and you're not neutral at all.
Yes. Yes.
I suggest, sir, that unemployment be taken seriously, and we will wait for the outcome of your ELI scheme. It is an interesting scheme. At the moment, I'm not impressed. I'm not convinced. The outcome alone will judge whether your intentions are good, whether you really want to tackle unemployment. Sir, the second broad subject is inflation. The Honorable Finance Minister, in paragraph 3 of her speech, dismissed the subject in 10 words. And I'm not exaggerating. Please go through the speech. Exactly 10 words. Is inflation such a trivial subject? You can deal with it casually and dismiss it in 10 words? WPI inflation is 3.4%. CPI inflation is 5.1%. Food inflation is 9.4%.
Oh, shit.
This is data collected where you can collect data, mostly along towns and villages abutting the national highway, at best the state highway, at Bested District Highway. But go into the hinterland of India. Go into the KBK districts of Odisha. Go into the interiors of Dharmapuri or Ramanathapuram. The inflation is much higher than your 3.4% or 5.1% or 9.4%. And the chief economic advisor, who may be cautious, conservative, he has a degree of autonomy which no other officer of the government of India has, he said in his economic survey, quote, India's inflation continues to be low, stable, and moving towards the 4% target. It's been moving for the last 4 years. When will it arrive at the 4% target? Is inflation low? Is it stable? No. Is it moving towards the 4% target? No. If it is moving towards the 4% target, why has the RBI not revised downward the bank rate fixed in June 2023?
Yes.
This is the 13th month of a 6.5% bank rate. Bank rate is a good measure of where inflation is moving. If inflation is moving towards the 4% target, 4% is, the target is actually 4 plus or minus 2. It's not 4%. Assuming that 4% is the target, why is the RBI keeping the bank rate at 6.5% for the last 13 months? Why is the MPC, the Monetary Policy Committee, not willing to revise it downwards? And I think what the Chief Economic Advisor said in his economic survey is injury, and the Honorable Finance Minister dismissing the subject in 10 words is adding insult to injury. Inflation is a humiliating situation because every family is hit by inflation. I warn this government, you are taking inflation not so seriously. The last set of by-elections punished you. You will not agree. But I think the last set of by-elections were out of 13 seats, 10 seats were won by the India bloc. Yeah. It is a punishment, a warning administered to you. And if you don't take inflation seriously, you will be punished more. If you want to suffer the punishment, you're welcome to suffer the punishment. And in this situation, you claim that the growth was last year 8.2%. And this year it will be 6.5% to 7%. I'm not going into the macroeconomic analysis. Some of my colleagues will do that. I ask you, how do you arrive at this growth rate? You take the nominal growth rate and apply a deflator and arrive at the GDP. Sir, the House and you must know that the deflator that they have adopted for the manufacturing sector for last year is 1.7. When wholesale inflation is 3.4, when CPI inflation is 5.1, food inflation is 9.4, how do you adopt a deflator of 1.7? In fact, I want the Honorable Finance Minister to tell us what is the deflator you have adopted for manufacturing industry, what is the deflator you have adopted for industry and for agriculture, and what is the deflator you have adopted for services. Nominal growth is measurable, but your GDP in real terms is simply by adopting a deflator. And if you adopt a deflator, which several knowledgeable economists and experts throughout the world have severely criticized for the last 3 or 4 years, you will arrive at this rosy picture. You will adopt a deflator less than 1.7, you would not have arrived at 8.2, you would have arrived at 9.2. You adopt a deflator of 0.5, you will even cross 10%. So please tell us, what is the deflators you are adopting? Why are you adopting? And tell us what is the nominal growth rate and how do you arrive at these growth rates? These growth rates cannot be seen, but these growth rates can be felt by the people. Please, anyone moving around the people will know. The growth rate can be felt by the people. When there is impressive growth, when there is more goods and services, when prices are affordable, when there is money floating around in the market, when your pockets are jingling with coins or currency notes, you get the feeling that things are going all right in this country. Do you get that feeling? I travel at least 500,000 kilometers every month by road. I don't get that feeling. Does any honorable member from his constituency or state get the feeling that the people tell him, things are very good, please go and tell the Prime Minister in Delhi, things are very good, we are very happy? Does anyone get that feeling? Nobody. Sir, the third subject is wages. Now, this is a serious matter. The Honorable Finance Minister said, I have given relief. Who has she given relief to? I don't grudge the relief. She has given relief. But who? In 22-23, the last figure I was able to access, the number of taxpayers is 7.4 crore. It may have increased to 8.5 crore. Out of that, 65% have zero tax liability. They file a return, but no tax. Assuming that the 60% remains constant, of say 8 crore or 9 crore taxpayers today, 5.5 to 6 crore will be zero tax liability. You have given relief to people who move to the new tax regime. The new tax regime, I've seen various calculations. Each paper has got a calculation. I have a chartered accountant who's given me a calculation from Gujarat, and he is very knowledgeable. He says that the relief given is between 9,651 rupees to 17,651 rupees. To whom? To this 2 to 3 crore people. India does not consist only of these 2 to 3 crore people. There are 142 crore in this country. Out of 142 crore, let's assume you have given relief to 2 to 3 crore people. What about the rest? Do you know the conditions of the rest? Your household consumption expenditure survey of the government of India counted that the bottom 50%, have 3% of the national wealth, 13% of the national income, and the monthly consumption in rural areas of the family is 3,094 rupees. Multiplied by 12, you will arrive at about 37,000 rupees a year. In urban areas, it's 4,963 rupees. Multiplied by 12, you get 60,000 rupees. So we have 50% of the population, monthly consumption expenditure, 50% is 71 crore, have a monthly consumption expenditure of between 36,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees. Are they rich or poor? This is the bottom 50, below the median. You go down to the bottom 20, go down to the bottom 10, they are even poorer. What is the relief for them? And the Niti Aayog chief executive officer says, India has virtually abolished poverty. Poverty cannot be more than 5%. Poverty cannot be more than 5% when you're talking about 71 crore people. 71 crore people, thankfully, is not 5%. Then India's population will be 1,400 crore. India's population is 142 crore. One half is 71. They are below the 171 crore. They are below the median, and this is the median income. Sir, I asked the Honorable Finance Minister, what is the relief given to them? Do you know that most of them are daily labor, 30 crore daily labor in this country. The others are irregular jobs. The regular jobs are only for about 17 to 25% of this country. All the rest are in irregular jobs or in daily labor. What is the relief given to them? In the World Hunger Index of 125 countries, we are 111. You may not accept the World Hunger Index, but the action that the government has taken, namely giving free food grain to 81 crore people, is a tacit admission that on the hunger index, we are very, very low. Forget the hunger index. 81 crore people, your own action shows that people cannot afford food. So, my last subject is federalism. What do we see around this country? All India service officers defy the directions and orders of the Council of Ministers of an elected government in Delhi. Funds are withheld from Kerala and West Bengal on one pretext or other. Borrowing limits of non-BJP states governments have been slashed. Tamil Nadu has been denied disaster relief assistance. I ask, why does the UPSC have to play a role in the appointment of the DGP of the state? Why should a state government not appoint the Vice Chancellor of state universities? And how did this government treat Andhra Pradesh and Bihar and Odisha before April? The same demand is there. The same Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act is there. It was there. The Chief Minister was a different person. The same act. For 10 years, how did you treat them? For 10 years, how did you treat Bihar? When a leader wears one cap, you treat him one way. When he changes that cap and he wears another cap, you treat him another way. I don't grudge at all you're giving relief to Andhra Pradesh or Bihar. But what about the other states? We are a federal country. This is the death knell of federalism. If you pick and choose among states, you are the Union of India. You are the union government. You are the government of all the states. You cannot pick and choose one state and deny relief to another state. Sir, finally, I thought the Honorable Finance Minister loved Tamil. I missed her quotes from either Thiruvalluvar or any other classic literature. Maybe she didn't have time to quote from a classic poet in Telugu or in Bhojpuri. Maybe she will in course of time. I want her to remember that she was born in Madurai. She had a schooling in Viluppuram and she had a college in Tiruchirappalli. And it is very painful, as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu pointed out, that not in one place in her 60-page speech did she mention the word Tamil Nadu or Tamil. I'm not saying mention only Tamil Nadu. Mention all states. Or mention all the states grouped together. How many times have you mentioned Bihar? How many times have you mentioned Andhra Pradesh? I have no grudge. But please remember that there are other states in India, other states of people, other states elect other governments, they vote against you. Please remember that. Finally, sir, I have 1 minute. I have 5 demands. 5 demands which I would urge the Honorable Finance Minister to copy from our manifesto. I demand this and I want answers. Respectfully, I ask the Honorable Minister to give us answers. If you don't answer this today or in the course of this session or subsequently, it is not as though these demands will die down. They will echo everywhere in India where the India bloc has a right to speak and right. First demand. We demand that a minimum wage of 400 rupees per day for every kind of employment. 2. We demand a legally guaranteed MSP. 3. We demand a write-off of the unpaid balance of interest or installment of educational loans given up to March 2024. 4. We demand the abolition, complete